Someday, I would love to build a new home. Because I live in the northern half of the United States, my home will need a system for both heating and cooling. There are a number of different options for me to choose from, including forced air, radiant heat, baseboard heat, and geothermal systems. Each comes with advantages and disadvantages. Let's take a look at some of the different heating and cooling options and see which one would fit my new dream home best. One popular heating and cooling option is a forced air system. This option uses a furnace to force air through ductwork and registers. The furnace heats air, which is then blown through ductwork installed in the house. Ductwork is a system of channels or pipes known as ducts, which move air throughout various rooms. The ductwork leads to registers, which are small vents within the different rooms. The furnace would need a fuel source, which could be anything from electricity, natural gas, propane, or oil. I think I would like a forced air system because of its advantages. For instance, it takes care of both heating and cooling, and the system humidifies and dehumidifies the air, which makes the home more comfortable. I also like that it's a bit less expensive to install than some of the other options. Of course, there are some disadvantages to forced air systems. For one, the ductwork requires space in the walls, beneath floors, or above ceilings. Figuring out where to put the ductwork will take some extra planning in my new home, but at least it won't be as bad as trying to install or replace ductwork in an older home. Another thing I might not like is that forced air systems can be noisy and increase air pollutants because the air and dust is pushed through the ducts by a blower or fan. Maybe it would be good to look at other options for my new home. Radiant heat might be a cozy option for a new home. Radiant heat uses the radiation of heat from a surface to heat an area. Radiant heat is much like the warmth we feel from the sun as it radiates toward Earth. This type of system can supply heat directly to panels in the floor, walls, or ceiling of a home. Although radiant heat panels can be heated with electricity, a popular radiant heat system used in a home distributes heat through in-floor hot water tubing. The hot water running through the tubes is heated by a boiler that runs on electricity, natural gas, propane, oil, wood, or solar. Radiant heat sounds wonderful. Many people think it's the best option because it's comfortable heat that's evenly distributed through the home. However, I don't think I would go with radiant heat because the disadvantages are more than I want to deal with. Specifically, I wouldn't like it because it's expensive to install and maintain due to the fact that the hardware is found under the floors or behind walls. Radiant heat also takes a long time to heat a room because you need to wait for the tubing to heat up first. And I think the biggest disadvantage with radiant heat is the fact that it's not a cooling system. Therefore, I would need to go through the additional expense of adding an air conditioner unit as well as ductwork to move the cool air around the house. Because I want my heating and cooling combined in one system, I would not be happy with baseboard heat. Baseboard heating systems utilize heating elements hidden inside panels that run along the baseboards of the walls. These systems can run on electricity or utilize heated water, which is the case with a hydronic system. Do you see the prefix hydro in this term? That stands for water, and we see that a hydronic baseboard heating system uses hot water baseboards to radiate heat into an area. As with radiant heat, a hydronic system heats water in a boiler that can run on electricity, natural gas, propane, oil, wood, or solar. The hot water is then circulated through tubes within the baseboard heating units that sit at the base of the walls within different rooms of the home. I like baseboard heat because it's quiet and energy efficient. However, the fact that it's not a cooling system and that it takes a long time to heat a room will keep me from installing this type of system. Another disadvantage is that the baseboards cannot be blocked. This presents a problem with decorating because I would need to make sure that there is no furniture placed in front of the units. Another option has come on the scene relatively recently and sounds really interesting. I'm referring to a geothermal system. What this system does is easy to recall if you break the term down. Geo refers to Earth, and thermal refers to temperature. So a geothermal system uses the fairly constant temperature of the Earth to heat or cool an area. This type of system uses a geothermal heat pump and a ground loop. The geothermal heat pump is a device that moves heat from one area to another. The ground loop is a system installed underground that carries heat. In the winter, the ground loop carries heat from the earth to the home. In the summer, the process reverses, so heat is carried out of the home and deposited into the earth. The advantage of a geothermal system is that it provides both heating and cooling, and it's inexpensive to run because the energy is provided naturally from the earth. However, it's expensive to install, and like forced air systems, it requires ductwork to move the air through the home. So if I do get a chance to build a new home, I'll have to consider these issues before installing a geothermal system. Let's review. A forced air system uses a furnace to force air through ductwork and registers. The advantages are that it takes care of both heating and cooling, it humidifies and dehumidifies the air, and it's usually less expensive to install. The disadvantages are that the ductwork requires space in the walls, beneath floors, or above ceilings, and it can be noisy. Radiant heat uses the radiation of heat from a surface to heat an area. It's comfortable heat that is evenly distributed throughout the home. However, it's expensive to install and maintain, takes a long time to heat a room, and it's not a cooling system. A baseboard heat system utilizes heating elements hidden inside panels that run along the baseboards of the walls. It's quiet and energy efficient. However, like radiant heat, it takes a long time to heat a room, and it's not a cooling system. Another disadvantage is that the baseboards cannot be blocked by furniture. A geothermal system uses the fairly constant temperature of the earth to heat or cool an area. It provides both heating and cooling, and it's inexpensive to run, but it's expensive to install and requires ductwork.